Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with Pacific Nut Producer Magazine, reporting to you from the annual convention of the Almond Alliance of California. Here with Josette Lewis. She was on a panel discussion today with the Almond Alliance. Now, Josette's with the Almond Board of California. Wanted to talk with you about bees and monarchs and how the concerns that folks have had with them moving on to the endangered species list, what that might do, the implications of what it could mean for California almond growers, particularly that rely heavily on bees to pollinate. Tell us about where the conversation is at, because I know it's kind of moved back and forth in the courts, and there's been a lot of fear about what that could mean for growers.
Yeah, so here in California, the courts have decided that native bees can be listed under our State Endangered Species Act. So unfortunately, the ag group lost that court case. So the state agencies are now going through the process of reviewing and making a decision on whether it will be listed under the State Endangered Species Act. So that's for native bees. At the federal level, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is also forced by courts, in this case, to revisit the decision about listing monarch butterflies as endangered species. The implications of a listing of either the native bees or the monarch butterflies are severalfold. One is we've seen a huge response in the almond industry as real leaders in adding pollinator habitat on and around our orchards and farms. This has been a great win for the industry in the marketplace. It's really shown that we are part of healthy ecosystems. We care about biodiversity. There are handlers who are paying incentives to growers. There are buyers who are saying they want this sort of thing, and it has really been a value proposition in the marketplace for the industry. So one implication is we want to protect that momentum and not have growers be hesitant to continue to add habitat because they're concerned about what an endangered species listing is. So we want to keep that momentum going. The other is we care and deeply and depend upon honeybees. And if there's an endangered species listing, particularly at the state level for these native bees, one potential implication is there are some groups who would advocate that honeybees compete with native bees for access to floral resources, to the food that keeps bees going. And so one potential implication is that they could exclude honeybees from public lands. That would be bad for our industry. It would reduce the overall access that beekeepers have of places to put their hives, and particularly for those honeybees to access really important good nutrition on the landscape. Perhaps the biggest implication of either of these endangered species listing is the court of public opinion. If these are listed, the almond industry with the largest crop acreage in the state, so we're kind of a big target. And I don't think any of us want to be on the wrong side of native bees or particularly monarch butterflies. I think every child learns about monarch butterflies and their life cycle. So we never want to see almonds on the wrong side of either of those two species. We want to instead be recognized for the good work that farmers and handlers and people in the industry are doing to really be part of the solution, which is to add habitat back. So the Almond Alliance, the Almond Board, and various other ag groups that we are working with here in the state are negotiating with both the state and the federal Fish and Wildlife departments to put in place conservation agreements that both protect growers and, very importantly, are very public sign by these two wildlife agencies that we are a net benefit for the conservation of native bees and monarchs. So that's the goal, and we're getting a lot of support from folks within the industry, as we heard this morning. So we look forward to continue to work with our farmers, our handlers, and our industry professionals to make that happen.
Great. Well, is there anything that you would recommend growers can do to get involved in the conversation to help support and protect their interests here?
Well, I continue to recommend that folks look at what the opportunity is on their operation to add things like cover crops, hedgerows, floral plantings in and around their orchards. It doesn't take a lot of land. It can work within your existing farming operation. So give a look at those. There's a ton of resources that both the Almond Alliance, the Almond Board, we have a lot of partners who can come out and work with you directly on your farm to figure this out. There's a lot of incentive dollars right now to help cover the costs. And those kind of actions on the ground really speak very loud to these conservation agencies to the marketplace and to the consumer about what is our motto. Make life better by what we grow, and very importantly, how we grow.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your good work and sharing that message, being a voice for the California growers at the Almond Board and protecting their interests there. Read more about these things in Pacific Nut Producer Magazine at Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.